on that.
Where'd you get it?
Made it.
Would you let me blow it once?
Keep it if you like.
Couldn't do that.
And why not? It's mine to give, and I can always whittle myself another one when I got need of it.
Well then, if you say so, sure do thank you.
My name's Willie.
Mine's Israel Boone.
Have that chair now. If you've got a bit of line, I'll lash it to the Dexo shield right without quiver.
Sure. What's the matter? You sick or something?
Look here. Could I get in the back of your wagon? I gotta hide somewhere just for a bit, please.
Sure.
Put another one there. Lieutenant Parker of His Majesty's Royal Marines at your service, sirs. We have reason to suspect that there is a mutineer from His Majesty's ship, the Molly Sean, hiding hereabout. In accordance with Article 27 of the treaty between the British Empire and the United States of America, we request permission to search these premises.
Just see you keep your hands out of my pickle barrel.
Well, goodbye, Mr. Stokey. I just hope on my next trip to Charleston I won't have to bring this rocker back to you.
Oh, all Mrs. Boone has to do is sit in it once.
Is that your wagon, sir? I think I'd like to search it.
No, Pa, don't let him.
Well, now, son, it won't hurt anything. Let him have a look.
Now, step aside, boy.
But I got everything in place and all tied up good. Please, Pa?
Well, Israel, you have done a good job. It would be a shame to have to do it all over again. Sorry, Lieutenant.
Do I understand that you're defying the stipulations of the treaty between your country and mine?
Well, now, Lieutenant, I'm not so sure your treaty necessarily covers this wagon. Israel, put these behind the seat. We've got a long way to go. Lieutenant Parker. Bye, Mr. Stokey.
My regards to Mrs. Boone, Daniel.
Hurry up, Pa. Please.
Ha!
Daniel Boone, what a doer, what a dream comer, truer was he. From the coonskin cap on the top of old Dan to the heel of his rawhide shoe, the ripidest, roaringest, fightingest man the frontier ever knew. Oh, Daniel Boone was a man, yes, a big man, with an eye like an eagle and as tall as a mountain was he. Oh, Daniel Boone was a man, yes, a big man, and he fought for America to make all Americans free. Daniel Boone was a doer, what a dream comer, truer was he. Daniel Boone, Daniel Boone.
All right, son. Don't you think it's about time you told me what this is all about? Whoa.
come on. Pa, this is Willie.
Willie? Where are you figuring on heading, son?
He wants to go with us, Pa.
Now, you let him talk, Israel. He might want to go back to Charleston.
He doesn't want to go back, Pa. I know. He wants to go with us. Please, Pa.
Well, if you're going to go with us, you better climb on up so we can get started.
Thank you, Governor.
Rock good and easy, Becky?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, no, I could swear that chair was rocking when I stepped in. I figured you'd been trying it out.
Well, I wasn't. I just must have bumped into it as I crossed the floor, that's all. But I did not sit in it.
Oh, come on, Becky. Try it. Sit in it just once.
No.
All right, then I'll sit.
Daniel Boone. Now, you know we can't afford a luxury like that.
It'll be quite a spell before I take you back to Charleston.
Well, you're just going to have to get it out of my sight, then.
Cabin's the safest and driest place. It might rot out there in the lean-to.
Daniel Boone. Now, I'm a weak woman. And it just isn't fair to set a temptation like that right in front of my fire.
Becky, you are the finest temptation fighter in all of Kentucky, if not the whole world. Now, if you don't want to sit and rock in that chair, you won't. So now you just stop fretting. Willie's doing a right good job of patching the roof. That's one chore I can stop putting off.
Thanks to Willie, there are a number of chores you can stop putting off. He's already repaired the drawers in the highboy so they don't stick anymore. He's shored up the spring house, and he's built 3 new shelves. I don't think I've ever seen anybody quite so handy.
Becky, does he ever talk to you at all?
The only person he ever talks to is Israel.
Most he ever said to me was, "Thank you, Governor," and that's when we were leaving Charleston. Something sure got his tongue tied up.
Dan, do you suppose he is the mutineer those Marines were looking for?
I don't know, Becky. Or maybe I'd be more honest if I were to say I don't want to know.
Yeah, you came down that line like a ruddy orangutan. Oh, you'll get faster, though, when you get your growth.
When I get my growth, I'm faster than you are now.
You could be a foretop man with a bit of practice.
What's a foretop man?
Well, he mans the foretopsail. Hey,
You mean like on a ship?
that's right.
Boy, you know all about ships, don't you? What's wrong?
I can't say. Wouldn't know how to tell you. What's it like, Israel? Living in a house?
I don't know. You know it's...
I don't know. For the simple reason that I never lived in one. Must be grand, all right.
I reckon. Don't suppose I ever thought about it.
I thought a lot about it. Just now I thought, wouldn't I like to build myself a little house? Out there. Just live in it.
Why don't you? There's an old cabin you could fix up. You'd like it, I know you would.
Aye. But there's no chance for it.
How do you know? Listen, why don't you talk to my pa about it? Ask him. Why don't you?
Look here, do you think he might step out here and have a word with me?
Sure, I'll go get him.
No, don't hurry him now. He's having his tea.
Pa drinks coffee. I'll go get him.
Willie, I hear you're doing an uncommon amount of work for me.
Well, you might say it's work I know how to do. You see, Mr. Boone, I served as carpenter's mate on His Majesty's ship Molly Shawn. I'm sure you must have heard of the ship Molly Shawn, the terrible mutiny and all.
It seems I recall a Marine lieutenant in Charleston saying something about it.
Aye. Well, it's me the Marines are after. There was a mutiny on the Molly Shawn, and I was in it. When they catch me, I'll hang for sure.
How old are you, Willie?
Don't know for sure, sir.
Well, what'd you do in this mutiny? Kill somebody or...
Oh, I give you my word. I never raised my hand against a soul.
Well, in that case, what do they want to hang you for?
Because I didn't do all in my power to stop them. The law says I'm as guilty as the worst of them.
Well, could you have stopped them, Willie?
Oh, no, sir. They had knives and guns, and most of them in drink. It was horrible. They chopped up the captain and threw him overboard. And the purser, bosun, and the midshipman said they'd give me some of the same if I didn't stand my hammock out their way. Without you and Israel, I'd be properly hung and gibbeted by now. I want to stay here, Mr. Boone. But would you let me?
Willie, it's not for me to say. But it is a free country.
Aye, it is. Then you wouldn't turn me in?
No.
But if the people here should find out what I've just told you...
And the folks here in Boonesboro are not so interested in the man's past. But they're more interested in what he's going to do right here and now.
Oh, bless you, sir. There can be no doubt what I intend to do right here and now. I intend to find a solid piece of timber and lay the keel for my own little house.
Lay a keel for a house?
You're going to have to excuse me, Governor. It's going to take me a while to get the salt water out of me talk.
Dust and clean. Seems like that's all I ever do around here is just dust and clean. I get sweet. Same old. Come in and misuse my place, and this is the way it looks. Well, I'll say one thing for you. You never sneak up on a man. Always hear you coming. Willie, how's that new house of yours coming?
The deckhead's secure.
Deckhead's secure, huh?
Aye. And the Boones have promised to come and have a look-see this evening. My very first visiting, you might say. I was wondering if you come too.
Well, I'll say one thing. There ain't a soul in this settlement that ain't curious as to what's going on out there. I would be proud to come and have a look-see.
In that case, I'll take a jug of your best rum.
A jug of my best rum. Jug, my best rum.
Miss Overstreet paid me for making her a porch seat and a spindle chair.
Willie, I've never known you to take a drink before.
No, sir. And very likely you never will. For you and Mr. Boone this evening, when you see my little house, you may have need for a drop. Then, too, it's good to keep in the cupboard. Now that I'm settled in, Maybe folks will come and visit me once in a while.
Well, you can count on that. Seems to me, next to Daniel Boone himself, you got more friends than anyone in Boonesboro.
Oh, my, Willie, the place looks beautiful.
And mighty comfortable looking, too.
And that chair you made us, he and I are always arguing over who's going to sit in it most.
Fine workmanship, Willie.
Israel, get down from there.
Wish I had a bed like this.
I expect it might make it a bit easier to dust under.
That's not why the ship captains have them. It's so they can sleep on an even keel even when the sea runs high. Right, Willie?
Right, Israel.
Dan, I think now might be the proper time.
All right. Willie, this is not new, but at least it's serviceable. At least that's what Cincinnati says.
Well, it's got a trigger.
At any rate, it's from all of us, and, well, we just think you ought to have one.
I got just the place for it. I was going to get one as soon as I could afford it anyway.
Would you like me to shoot it sometime?
Of course. Should I warm up your team up?
No, thank you, Willie.
Mrs. Overstreet?
No, thank you.
Cincinnati?
Oh, well, since how it's my own, I will have.
Good old Cincinnati.
I tell you, I just can't get over how you put this place together all by yourself. Yes, sir, it's just as neat and clean as a captain's cabin on a fine ship.
A fine job.
Willie, you have been more than hospitable. But I think it's time for us to go.
I think so.
Thank you all for stopping in.
See you later, Willie.
Good night, Willie.
Much obliged, Willie.
Good night, Willie.
Mr.
Thank
Good
you.
night, Mr.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Willie. Willie, I know you're proud of your house with good cause. I just want you to know that we're all proud of you. And with good cause. Good night.
Blimey. He cuts himself up like a landlubber, but it's you all right. William Crawford. Oh, nice snug little berth you have here, ain't you? Very snug indeed. Ooh. Well, where are your manners, baby lad? You gonna stand there gawking while a tired old shipmate gets faint on his feet, eh? I see I'll have to help myself, won't I?
Who are you anyway?
Who am I anyway? My name's George Perkins, boatswain's mate on the good ship Surprise, but I swallowed the anchor for shore duty. I see you look scared out of your wits. I haven't brought the British Marines with me, if that's what you're thinking.
How'd you know my name's Willie Crawford? If it is my name.
Carpenter's mate, William Crawford, serving on His Majesty's ship Molly Shawn, formerly. Oh, have a sit, baby boy, have a sit. I wouldn't harm you for anything in the world. Just an old shipmate, paying a friendly visit. You know, I rode down here with a preacher, man. He hadn't got a drop in his wagon. I'll tell you something, baby lad, I'd sooner sail round Cape Horn in a longboat than I would make that voyage overland from Charleston Harbor.
And why wouldn't an old sailing man like yourself be coming way out here to Boonesboro?
Well, I ain't a Molly Shawn mutineer who doesn't like the thought of hanging from the yardarm.
I had no part in that mutiny.
I believe you, lad, I believe you.
I had to do what they told me.
And what did they tell you?
They told me to play my flute so they could dance on the quarterdeck.
Ha, ha, ha. Play your flute, eh, so they can dance. I'll tell you something, baby lad. I'd have gone my way in Charleston that day, only I had to stop for a mug of grog, and then, you know, I suddenly heard you piping a sailor's tune, and I stopped to listen, and then the sun caught that little bit of silver, and, oh, baby lad, I fancied it. Of course, I knew you were hiding from the blooming Marines, but I fancied it. I still fancy it. Well, you got your name cut right into it. William Crawford. You've had the devil's own luck, you a wanted man running from the crown. It's a miracle you haven't had to trade that silver chain for a length of hemp. How did a bucko like you get a piece of silver like that, eh?
I don't know. I always had it, ever since I can remember. How come you didn't turn me in that day in Charleston? I expect there's a price on me head.
Oh, might be a small reward, but not much. Not one of the leaders, are you? Besides, why should I do a thing like that? Nobody wants to be an informer. Unless, of course, they has to. Blimey, where does a sailor like you get all these victuals and rum so far from the sea, eh?
I do work for the folks in the settlement. Make something they need or mend something that's broke. I get along.
Yeah, I can see that. What more can a man want than a warm cabin and plenty to eat and drink, eh? Blimey, a real captain's berth. Oh, 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 oh. I've always wanted to sleep like a ship's master. Oh, 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 oh. Ah. Stop staring and close your mouth unless it's open to say good morning, Mr. Perkins.
You pinched it.
What's that? Can't hear what you say.
My good luck piece, you pinched it.
Oh, pinched it. What a thing to say. Oh, what a thing to say. I borrowed it, that's all. Plain to see, baby boy, it brought you some good fortune. Thought it might do the same for me.
How'd you get it off me? Without me knowing?
Well, you're a baby, aren't you? And you sleep like a baby. I sleep pretty well myself, but I sleep ever so lightly. When a man's lived with murdering cutthroats as long as I have, he learns to sleep with one eye open. And a knife in his hand. Oh, well, you just have a little bit of an eye-opener and a bite to eat, and then perhaps take a look at Boone's braai. Oh, blimey, this jug's empty.
And you'll be better off without it.
It's rum what keeps me on an even keel. I'll thank you to fetch me a fresh jug.
I don't have another.
Oh, I know. I had a look in the old galley while you were sleeping. Even the poorest and meanest scows have better stores.
Well, I eat supper where I work mostly. It's the way some folks have of paying for the job. There's biscuits in the bread barge.
Biscuit? I ate my last biscuit when I left the sea, thank you. Come on, we get something proper for a man to eat and something proper to wash it down with.
It costs money, you know. Have you got any coins?
Well, not just at the moment, no, but I did have. I think it must have been about 6 years ago. I had half a crown, but for the life of me, I can't remember what became of it.
Cincinnatus?
Willie! Yeah, you caught me that time. How come I didn't hear you tootle on your flute?
I need to put in some stores.
Well, you come to the right place. You might add the only place.
This is a friend of mine. Perkins. George Perkins.
How'd you do?
Howdy. Well, I expect you'll be needing some lard and flour and peas.
I need a good deal of things, Cincinnatus. Only I don't have any coins in my pocket.
Well, you'll get 'em soon enough. As far as I'm concerned, your credit's just as good as gold.
There you are, Willie boy. What did I tell you, eh? Oh, before you get Willie's stores together, pour me a mug of your best, will you, mate?
I don't recall having seen you around in Boonesboro before, Mr. Perkins.
I haven't been round these parts before.
You, just passing through, or plan to settle down and stay a while?
Well, I might stay and then I might not, you know. Willie and I have to discuss the situation. One might say that it's not my decision to make, no. It's going to be up to Willie. Blimey, ain't that your benefactor from Charleston?
Mr. Boone's boy, Israel.
Where have you been, Willie? I've been looking all over for you. Don't you remember? You said you'd take me fishing today.
Willie ain't got no time to do any fishing, so you might as well get on your way.
Who are you?
Now then, don't start being lofty with me, my boy. I thought I told you to clear off. And look alive, Willie boy. I'm parched and empty.
Mind to dose you up, Israel. You've been mopish and out of spirits for days on end. You must be coming down with something.
Oh, no, ma'am. I'm not coming down with anything.
Well, it's unnatural for a boy your age to be indoors all the time. You should be outdoors playing.
When do you think Paul will be coming home?
Well, when he's out hunting with Mingo, it's hard to tell. Week, 2 maybe. Israel! I'm going to have your father return that chair to Mr. Stokey as soon as he gets back. Oh. Why don't you go over and see Willie?
Every time I go over there, that Perkin man runs me off.
Maybe you could get him to come over here. Got plenty of chores that are just waiting. You tell him that I need him.
Well, I reckon I could try.
Gooseberry jam. I haven't had gooseberry jam since I can't remember. Yeah, Willie boy. I'll give you a bit. Come on, Willie. You have a taste, baby. What's the matter? Oh, I say, don't get angry. And Molly Shawn can't afford to be angry, especially with someone who knows who he is and can get in touch with the Marines at Charleston.
Well, why don't you just do it? Turn me in and have done with it.
Even an old sea dog like me knows that a wise man doesn't kill the cow, he milks it. Oh, now, Willie. Come and have a sit, baby boy. Let's talk it over and you'll find things aren't so bad as they seem. Sit down now, Willie. Let's regard this as business proposition, shall we? You got something I want, a fair little cabin, enough to stave off my hunger and thirst. Now, that's not asking much in return for me keeping my mouth shut, is it? I promise I'll do that, provided you stick to your end of the bargain, of course.
My fair little cabin is fouled. And I'm in debt for your rum and your fancy victuals. I've a good mind just to run off again.
If you got a brain in your head, you'll stay here with me and eat what I've got to say. Listen, there ain't a port, there ain't a vessel what's not watching for you, and they'll never stop. Till the end of your days, they'll be after you. Besides, you wouldn't like to get your friend Mr. Boone into trouble. Would you?
Lily, it's me, Israel. Are you home? Ma sent me. That is, to tell you that she has some chores for you. That is, if you have a mind to work this morning. There'll be dumplings for supper, Will. Won't you come?
Well, I don't know. Maybe I can.
I'll wait for you. Out here.
No. You go on home. Tell your ma I'll be along. When I can. Mrs. Boone wants me to do some work for her.
Yes, so I heard. And she'll pay for your labor with dumplings. Ha! You can't buy much rum with dumplings, baby boy. You know, it's just as well I turned up when I did. These landlubbers beginning to take advantage of you. If you do a day's work, you ought to get a man's pay for it, not just doled out a ration of mush and turnips.
There's little money to be had here.
Oh, there's little of anything to be had here. This blooming place is like a hull in the doldrums. That's why I think we ought to be clearing out.
This is my home. The only one I ever had. I worked hard on this place.
Then you can work hard on another place, can't you, in a more civilized neighborhood, where there's coin to be had and something for a man of my sensibilities to do of an evening.
See you coming?
It's a good thing I wasn't a mean old hungry bear. It's me like you were thinking some mighty heavy thoughts. Anything wrong I should know about?
It's Willie, Pa. There's this new man named Perkins come to stay with him. Well, he says he's a friend, but he's not like Willie at all. All this cussing and drinking and... Well, ever since there's been no fishing and hunting, every time I go over there, he barely talks to me. What do you reckon's wrong, Pa?
Hold on, son. You say Willie has a friend that's come to live with him?
Won't you come in, Mr. Boone?
Thank you, Willie. Just leave the door open if you don't mind.
Oh, I say, that's Mr. Daniel Boone, ain't it? How do you do? I'm Mr. Perkins, Mr. George Perkins.
Mr. Perkins, it's not often a seafaring man finds his way this far back into the wilderness.
How do you know I'm a seafaring man, eh?
Just how do you know I'm not?
Oh, well, I mean, nobody goes down to the sea with the hide of a beast on their backs, do they? You know, if I'm going to be a landlubber, I must be properly outfitted like. I must dress like you, Willie and Mr. Boone. I mean, I'll tell you something. You know, Willie's very smart with the needle, Mr. Boone. Oh, Mr. Boone, come over here and have a little drink, won't you? Oh, what's wrong with me? Oh, never felt like this before.
It's the drink, that's all. He'll come around in a bit. He knows I'm a Molly Shawn. He saw me hiding your wagon that day in Charleston.
And as long as you give him food and drink, he'll keep a bridle on his tongue.
That was the bargain.
Well, that's not much of a bargain, Willie. It's plain to see he's got you between finger and thumb. Look at this mess. Look what he's done to you.
There's no help for it.
Not as long as you keep him in food and drink. Just suppose you were to disappear for a spell. More than likely you'd give up and go away.
No, sir. He'd tell her you brought me here and all. I could get you in an awful lot of trouble.
Well, I'm not exactly a stranger to trouble, Willie.
You saved my life, Mr. Boone. Gave me my little house and my friends. I'd sooner hang than bring you to grief.
All right, son, now get your breath and tell me.
Those Marines, Pa. Those British Marines. After Willie. They're at the fort.
Well, now, who told you there were Marines at the fort?
Nobody told me. I saw them. Same one that tried to get in our wagon in Charleston. He said let's try asking Cincinnati about Willie.
Well, what'd Cincinnati say to him?
I didn't wait to find out.
If I know Cincinnati, they know less now than when they ask him. It's likely they'll come looking for me. Do you think you can get back to our house before they get there?
Sure, Pa.
All right, I want you to go and tell your ma that if they come looking for me, that she's to delay them as long as she can. You understand? All right, now, son, make haste.
We'd like to see Mr. Boone.
Oh, won't you come in? Dan isn't here right now, but he'll be back most any moment. Well, won't you sit down and make yourselves comfortable? I've got lots of nice hot tea here.
On your feet, Sergeant.
Yes, sir!
Mrs. Boone, we'd hoped that Mr. Boone could tell us where to find William Crawford.
I'm sorry Dan isn't here, but if you'll just sit down and wait.
Could you tell us where to find William Crawford?
If you just sit down for a spell, maybe you'd like some nice cool cider. I know you must be tired.
No, thank you.
Well, if you just sit and wait for my husband.
I'm afraid it would be a long wait. I suspect your husband is with William Crawford.
Are you just going to stand there and wait for him?
I can't run anymore. They'll never stop hunting for me. And there'll always be a George Perkins.
You just lost heart, Willie. Got a good mind to take you someplace till they give up looking for you.
I'd only turn myself in. I swear it.
Willie! Where are you, Willie? Pipe us a tune, Willie. We're becalmed again.
There'll be no more tunes, Mr. Perkins. Get
so I can clear out my house before the Marines come and get me.
Marines? You stay where you are and tell me what you said about the Marines.
You should know. You're bound to be the one that informed on me.
I never did.
Well, you'll be collecting your reward. Your blood money.
The only reward I'll get's a rope round my neck. They got 2 murders at sea against me. I tell you, I came here to hide, Willie, just like you did. Well, I'm going to make a run for it. I'm going to get out of here. You're a bigger fool than I thought, staying here like a rat in a trap. Mr. Boone, he lied me out just like he did you. He lied me to protect you.
No, you can't involve him anymore.
Hang easy, Willie.
You might far from home, Lieutenant?
Very far. And I don't like it.
Well, you can always turn around and go back.
I will. And I shall take William Crawford with me. Now, I know he's here, Mr. Boone, and I shall tell you how I know, so we won't waste time bandying words. That day in Charleston, Mr. Boone, I learned a bit later that your son was seen with a young seaman.
Now, you've come a long way on a suspicion, Lieutenant.
We have also had reports that there is a man, a seaman, living in Boonesboro. Now, unless I receive some cooperation, Mr. Boone, I have no choice but to conclude that you are harboring Mr. William Crawford, a mutineer against the authority of the British Crown. Do you deny, Mr. Boone, that there is a young seaman here named William Crawford?
Lieutenant, the folks here in Boonesboro don't regard Willie as a criminal. Now, he's made a new life here and a host of friends. And Willie has told me that he did not take part in that mutiny, and I believe him. Now, I just can't let you haul him off and hang him.
Sergeant McIntosh, go in and search that house.
I don't think you ought to do that. You may have your orders, but that gives you no right to enter a man's house bearing arms and drag him out. You're on foreign soil, Lieutenant.
Halt!
Don't shoot!
Sir. William Crawford, I arrest you in the name of the king.
No, I'm not. You got...
Still in his hands, sir. This man spent his life at sea, all right.
Poor fellow. At least he won't have to run anymore.
Mr. Boone! Mr. Boone!
Don't look now. He's dead. Willie is dead.
What do you mean, Willie's dead? I'm...
Gonna have another drink? Good idea, what with the shock and all.
Who are you?
A friend of the deceased. A drinking companion, you might say, Lieutenant. Look at him. He's hardly in any condition to stand. I best get him off to bed.
Hold on, Mr. Boone. I need proof. Some verification that the dead man is William Crawford.
I don't know how I could help you, Lieutenant, or why I should. What makes you doubt that's your man?
The ship's records indicate that William Crawford was a much younger man.
Oh? How young?
About 16. About that young fellow's age.
16, Lieutenant? 2 years before the mast? Don't tell me the British Navy impresses 14-year-old boys.
Well,
Sir? Sir, I found this on the body.
You can't take that.
That's his friend's only keepsake.
William Crawford. Amazing. It's engraved right on the back. And he wore it.
And when you add that to the fact that his hands give him away as a seaman, and I can testify that his accent is British, so I don't know what else you need, Lieutenant.
I suppose I could settle for that in good conscience.
Well, now, that's important. A man's got to live with his conscience, and well, I think you're a very lucky man, Lieutenant.
I'd say we've all been struck with a bit of luck, Mr. Boone.
Poor fellow, we'll see that he gets a decent burial.
Sergeant McIntosh.
Up.
Prepare to march. Here. I suppose he'd want you to have it. Sergeant.
Good luck coin. That's what Perkins called it.
Yeah, it could be, Willie. Well, sometimes I like to think you have to give your luck a little push.
Why are you standing there staring a hole through me?
Well, I didn't mean to. I'm just a mite surprised and pleased to see that old Temptation fought out against you just this once.
Temptation had nothing to do with it. The matter was taken out of my hands.
Oh?
Those Marines. One of them sat in it before I had a chance to stop him.
Well, now, what'd that have to do with it?
Well, it certainly wouldn't be right to return a used chair to Mr. Stokey, would it?
Be downright dishonest. And since we have it here in the cabin and we can't take it back, it'd be wasteful not to use it.
But it's even more wasteful to sit here all day when there's supper to be made. Especially since we have a guest.
A guest?
Mm-hmm, Willie. We're having the trout he and Israel caught this afternoon.
And?
They were still counting when I left.
Pa, why can't we drive the wagon right up to the front steps of the legislature? Is there any law against it?
Well, son, there might as well be. Get up!
Elizabeth!
Simon, maybe if you just stood outside in the doorway with it, they'd remember. Simon, it isn't even loaded.
Elizabeth!
Simon, are you going to sit there and let them take your son away from you?
Well, Scout, how do you feel this morning?
Where's my rock candy?
Oh, I hid it.
Where?
Oh, in town, back in the store. That's where we're headed.
Is Daddy coming too?
No, Daddy's staying right here. Ain't you, Daddy?
Pa, please.
Now, we've had this all out. The boy comes with me. I'm not going to have my grandson raised by no yellow belly. Now, you can come along and help raise him right, or you can stay here and watch him grow into a whiskey sponge. Make up your mind.
Grandma, what's a yellow belly?
Pa. Simon. Simon, please tell me what to do.
When I'm dead, marry him.
Why, wait.
6 months ago, you would have run and hid if he'd looked at you cross-eyed. Now, get out.
The old man says if you put 1 foot inside Potterville, he's gonna flay the hide off of you.
Get out of this house! Get out of my house!
I'll be right outside if you want me, man.
Get out! Simon, I gotta go with the boy, don't I? Don't I?
Liz, shut the door tight behind you.
Daniel Boone, what a doer, what a dream comer truer was he. From the coonskin cap on the top of old Dan to the heel of his rawhide shoe, the rippin'est, roaringest, fightingest man the frontier ever knew. Oh, Daniel Boone was a man, yes, a big man, with an eye like an eagle and as tall as a mountain was he. Oh, Daniel Boone was a man, yes, a big man, and he fought for America to make all Americans free. Daniel Boone was a doer, what a dream comer truer was he. Daniel Boone, Daniel Boone.
Mr. Fryman,
Mrs. Hicks, now what can I do for you this morning?
I felt I had to come here to say something on behalf of all the women of Potterville.
You want me to cut off the liquor?
I most certainly do. But that is not why I am here today. I have come to thank you.
Thank me?
Mm-hmm.
What for?
For what you've done. For taking poor Jeremy Jarvis away from that excuse for a man. And to assure you that if you need any help at all, a woman's touch, some advice...
Are you sure you can spare it?
Elizabeth, I didn't know you'd come back with Jeremy. Well, I think that's the best possible solution. If you ask me...
you, just in from the Carolinas. Are you interested?
You have no reason to mock me. You know a widow cannot wear a dress made from cloth like that. And if it weren't for Simon Jarvis, I wouldn't be a widow. Thank you again. Good day.
I'd say poor Mr. Hicks is better off where he is.
You don't really mean that.
No.
Indians! Indians, they're back! Oh, mercy, they're back! Indians, down there. Indians, where? Indians.
You just keep your hands where I can see them.
Certainly not the friendliest host I've ever run into.
Tie him up, this stinking Choctaw.
It's Cherokee, friend.
What's the difference?
About 400 miles. I always liked a cautious man. That's my friend, my wagon, and my luggage, and I'll appreciate it if you'll take your hands off all three.
It's all right, Luke. This is Daniel Boone from Kentucky. Now, you're passing through at a very edgy time. My name's Fryman. I met you a long time ago at Twin Oaks.
What about him?
Well, I'm sure Mr. Boone will vouch for the Indian.
I don't have to vouch for him. He's as good as any man here.
Well, that's all right, Daniel. I gather from all this that you've had trouble with the Choctaw lately.
Trouble? 10 survivors out of 50? That counts trouble.
Well, let's all go inside. All of us. Oh, you must be Mrs. Boone. Here, let me help you down.
Thank you, Mr. Fryman.
Elizabeth, you remember Becky?
Oh, Elizabeth, it's been so long.
That's a fine-looking boy you have there.
Well, where's Simon?
You mean my son-in-law? He's dead.
Pa.
As far as we're concerned, he's dead. Hey, what's your name, Sonny?
Israel Boone.
I got a young fella you gotta meet. He's not your age. You like rock candy?
Oh, I think it's a little close to eating time.
Oh, we'd be happy to have you eat with us. Come on, inside.
Well, that old man Fryman's got some peculiar ideas who he shares his table with.
Yeah, I didn't know Simon was a friend of Daniel Boone's.
Simon was a lot of things, and I'm sick of hearing about him, Boone or not. And I don't like the idea of a redskin eating in the Potterville Tavern.
You think you're fit enough to take it up with the old man?
Yeah, I'm fit enough, but I ain't fool enough.
I couldn't eat another bite.
Well, I could.
That's the spirit. Where'd you leave your appetite, Scout?
Mommy, when's Daddy coming?
Oh, why don't you and Israel go out back and see if Mr. Boone's horse is cared for? Is that all right with you?
Oh, of course. Run ahead, dear.
Sure.
I'll get you fixed up at the inn. It's comfortable, clean.
Before we go, I'd like to know about Simon.
Your coach isn't due until the day after tomorrow.
And I'm not going to get on it until I learn about him.
You know, there are ears here that maybe shouldn't hear about this.
Well, I could go out in the back with the children, Mr. Fryman, but I'll hear about it eventually.
All right. Simon Jarvis has disgraced himself. But worse than that, he's responsible for the death of most of the able-bodied men that lived in this town. He's a coward.
The last word I had of Simon Jarvis was in a war dispatch that said...
I know what it said. That General Gates himself pinned a medal on Simon's chest for bravery.
That's right. I grew up with Simon. I hunted with him. I fought with him. And I never once saw him scared.
Boone, 2 weeks ago, the Choctaws raided a couple of our outlying farms, burned them down. Now, we decided to look for them before they turned south and attacked us. Naturally, having a hero of the rebellion in our midst, we elected Simon to lead us. We split up into 2 bunches. Our main force on both sides of the river, and I was leading them. And then our best rifleman in reserve up on the hill under Simon. All he had to do was to give the order for them to move in once the fighting started down below. Turn the Indians' flank and make them think they were surrounded.
And?
He never gave that order. He froze. He held his men back until they went out on their own. No orders, no signals. Just 40-odd men all trying to take command at once. It was the worst slaughter I ever saw.
And you saw Simon freeze?
No. And just like you, I couldn't believe it.
And what changed your mind?
When the fighting was over, Simon was nowhere to be found. But then, when those that was left of us got back here to Potterville, there he was, drunk. He hasn't drawn a sober breath since. Scared to face all them widows. He just sat there, looked up at me, and gave me this. What good is a man like that to anybody? Someday there'll be another raid, maybe near his cabin. Do you think I can let my daughter and my grandson live up there with nothing to protect them but what used to be a man?
You must be tired. I'll take you over to the inn.
Dan?
Becky, you going over and get us a room. I'll be along directly.
Oh, give Simon my best.
I wouldn't advise going up there.
Mr. Fryman, with all due respect, I'd still like to hear Simon's side of the story. Thank you for a fine meal.
Mr. Fryman.
Can any of you fellows tell me where Simon Jarvis's cabin is located?
It's up the ridge, quarter mile, second cabin.
Much obliged. Ango, would you mind keeping an eye on Becky and Israel while I'm gone? Of course.
You can't miss it, Boone. Just follow the yellow streak.
Simon? Simon!
They're coming. They're past the creek. Keep your heads down.
Simon, it's me, Boone.
Oh, now, I see one.
Simon?
Come back.
It's me, Boone. Wake up.
Bows and arrows. You showed him where we was ambushed. Now, why'd you want to do that? I never did you no harm.
Now, just sit there and take it easy. There's no one here but you and me.
That's what I said. My pa has to talk to some of the people in the government. What's that? What's that? That's where they make the rules for the whole country. My grandfather makes up all the rules in Pottersville, don't you, Grandpa?
Why don't you two go over by the fire and discuss the State of the Union over this new jar of rock candy that just come in?
I guess I better be going. Ma'll be wondering where I'm at.
Well, in that case, it's a long ride to Philadelphia.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, goodbye, Mr. Fireman. I guess I'll see you later. Goodbye. Bye.
Hey, come here, you. Don't you say hello to me anymore?
Hello, Luke.
Uncle Luke.
You ain't my uncle, is he, Grandpa?
Scout, how would you like to go hunting with me someday?
When?
Oh, maybe Saturday. You ever gone hunting?
No, sir. My daddy wouldn't show me. Said I was too little yet.
Well, you got a lot of catching up to do. In the meantime, how'd you like to help me unpack them stores?
All right.
Atta boy. You know, I'm going to tell you once more. Don't crowd me and don't crowd her. Uncle Luke.
You don't talk to Boone that way, and he's crowding you plenty.
Well, Boone's leaving on the eastbound coach. You want to do the same?
Look, somebody's got to take care of Liz and the young'un. You ain't gonna live forever.
You know, you got a picture of owning all this someday, haven't you?
No, I never said that.
You haven't got the gall to say it. Now, why don't you get out of here? I'm sick of looking at you.
Didn't we used to be friends?
That's what I thought.
Dan? Is that Dan?
That's Dan.
Go away.
Catch that string of walleye pike all by myself? Now, come on, we can have that mess back in camp by sunup.
I don't want to. Not today. Where's my jug?
Well, what do you mean, not today? We're breaking camp this afternoon. It's now or never, Simon.
Well, make it never. Now, clear out of here. I don't want you to see me like this. Who sent you here anyway? Please go away, Dan.
Not just yet. Come on, I'll give you a hand up.
I'll make you clear out of here. I'll make you. You got no right to bust in here when I'm asleep. That's gonna cost you, mister. Oh. You trip me up. You dirty, low-down skunk. You don't fight fair. I told you once, twice to get out of my house. Now I'm gonna throw you out. If you're still here when I get on my feet. Oh.
open, Israel.
How come?
Keeps the air circulating. What's your mother up to?
She and Mrs. Jarvis are talking. Must be pretty interesting.
Why?
Told me to clear out and come on in here. Can I ask you a question?
At your service, Master Boone.
How can you read books when nobody makes you? I always figured when I grew up, that would be the first thing I'd be able to stop.
Unfortunately, I developed the habit at a very early age. It's difficult to break.
What are you reading?
Oh, nothing that would interest you.
How do you know?
Well, it's just a lot of stuff about wars and a king who gets killed and witches and haunted castles and a moving forest, that sort of thing.
What's the name of it?
Macbeth.
Was he the king that got killed?
Well, not exactly. You see, he kills the king, and then he becomes the king. And finally... Why trouble your young head with that?
Grown-ups never tell me anything. Guess I could look it up myself.
Well, I suppose one quick look wouldn't hurt.
Thanks, Mingo.
Good night, Israel.
Night.
Hello, Dan. You still here?
Mm-hmm. Well, Simon, looks like it's going to be a long afternoon. Be on the mend, Simon. You came to with only one bucket that time.
Oh, why can't you let me be?
You crazy fool. You're trying to kill me?
It's the last resort.
How long I gotta breathe in this steam?
Until you dry out. You just sit there and kind of sweat a little. Do you no end of good. Take it easy, son. Oh, well, I don't know what they were talking about. There's plenty of fight left in you. The trick is getting it pointed in the right direction.
Now, listen, maybe it would help steady me.
No.
Oh, Dan, you don't understand.
Well, I don't know why a horse drinks poison water, but I try and stop it. I know it's a waste, and I hate waste as much as you do.
Dan, ain't you planning on leaving me any?
Simon, I want you to tell me what happened. I need you sober for that.
I don't want to be sober. It's a free country, isn't it?
Sure. You ought to know. You won a medal for helping to make it that way.
Oh, Dan, you take the prize. When all else fails, wave the flag.
Well, it's a good flag.
Dan, I don't know what brought you out this way. I got enough of my senses to know that you mean well, and I'm grateful to you. But I'd be more than grateful if you'd give it all up as a bad job.
Simon, I'm going to help you whether you want me to or not. And I'd be a sight easier if you'd help just a little, for old time's sake.
Oh, all right. You always could out-talk me. Help me up.
Would there be some kind of work in Boonesboro for a woman with a boy to look after? I mean, I can farm, cook, and sew.
You don't want to do that.
Of course I don't want to. But I can't have Jeremy grow up with his father not a half mile away from him like some ghost that won't rest.
Oh, Elizabeth. Maybe Dan can snap him out of it.
Now, hold still, Simon. I never went to barber in college. What are you so nervous about?
Oh, remembering things, I guess.
About the raid on the Choctaws?
Oh, that and other things.
You ready to tell me about it?
Yeah, you know all there is to know. Old man Fryman, he's a good storyteller. He don't leave nothing out.
Did you freeze, Simon?
You know, that's one thing I've noticed since I've been in this fighting business. Everybody's looking for the quickest answer. Did you win or did you lose? Did you freeze or did you fight? Are you dead or are you alive? That was old Major Benson's way. He was my commanding officer. He looked for those simple answers. He'd say, men, come back with your shield or on it. Pretty catchy, huh? You know what? Long about the second week with the regiment, he came back on it.
All this by way of leading up to something, eh, Simon?
Well, after he was killed, they gave me the command. Battlefield commissioner was. Bad mistake.
Why? I would have said it was a real good idea.
So would I. That just shows how much you and me know. Hey, is it cold in here?
No, not especially.
I'm beginning to feel pretty poorly, Dan. You don't suppose that...
Simon, I smashed them all. Now, do you think you can walk?
I don't know.
Well, let's find out.
Oh,
here we go. Oh, doing just fine.
Oh, I miss that floor. And that bear. Me and that bear, we spent a lot of time together lately.
Oh, that's just fine. Now, I want to keep your eyes up and walk.
All right. Anything you say. Anything the colonel says, the colonel is gonna get.
All right, boy.
Let's save the mountain climbing for tomorrow, all right?
All right, Simon. What we ought to do is get some food in you and a little coffee. Then we need to get some supplies and fix up your furniture.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm still tired out from walking across that floor.
Well, again, I want you to walk it one more time.
No, I don't think I can, Dan.
I know you can. All the way over to bed. That boy, Simon. Now you know you're going to be able to sleep for a little while. Becky give us a bad time over this counterpaint. Now listen, Simon. You may have a bad dream. You've had bad dreams before, but if you do, I want you to say to yourself, it's just a bad dream. I want you to start right now saying it over and over. It's just a bad dream.
It's just a bad dream. It's just a bad dream.
I'll be back as soon as I can.
It's just a bad dream. It's just a bad dream. It's just a bad dream.
exhausted. They're both sleeping. How did you find Simon? It's going to be an uphill fight. Anything I can do? Yes, there is. First off, you can...
Pa? What's all this whispering about?
Well, to make sure that no one wakes you up.
I wasn't asleep. I was real tuckered, though.
There's something keeping you up.
I've been thinking. Every time I doze off, I start thinking. And that does it.
Anything in particular?
A whole bunch of stuff. But mainly, how come Jeremy's grandfather says that Jeremy's father's dead? He ain't, is he?
No, Israel. He's alone and he's very tired, but he's not dead.
How come everybody's mad at him? Just because he got scared?
Well, could be something like that. You know, sometimes a man is a fool when he's not scared. And then sometimes when a man thinks he's scared, he's just being careful. Now, you must have had at least 100 lectures on being careful, haven't you?
Yes, sir, but was Jeremy's father being scared or careful?
Well, I don't know. We hope to find out. Hey, listen, you go in there and get some sleep.
Yes, sir. Hey, Lingo, I read 10 pages already.
Really?
Sort of long-winded, but somehow I don't seem to mind. I'd like to finish it sometime.
Good boy.
Night.
Shakespeare. He's quite a boy. Well, he knows how to ask the questions. The trick is being able to answer them. What about Simon? Well, I have something here to show you. Somebody's been feeding him a lot of whiskey lately. I'd like to find out who. Now, this is the trademark, more than likely, of the seller, not of the jug maker. It's highly unlikely that Mr. Fryman will be selling him any. He won't let him in the door. Well, I'm going to be going down there after a while to get some supplies. After I leave, why don't you investigate Fryman's store? Good. With all this waiting around, I'm getting as jumpy as Israel. Just don't let anybody see you. This town is as edgy if it's been raining gunpowder. Boone? No, thank you, Fryman. I've got some purchases to make. I need about 5 pounds of flour, 3 pounds of coffee, 2 pounds of salt, a pound of sugar, and a side of bacon.
Well, you went out and seen for yourself, huh?
I've seen liquored up men before.
That's not what I mean. I mean the other thing. The fear in his eyes and his face.
Are you going to fill my order, or aren't you?
I'd hate to think that you were taking liberties with my good nature, Boone.
And a side of bacon. I agreed to leave him, Pa, not to let him starve to death.
put it back on the shelf. I knew you was a thief the minute I laid eyes on you. Now get moving. You find an Indian, and you find a thief.
Was it you, Luke? Sneaking out there every night to see that he stayed drunk?
It's interesting to see the way that liquor works on people. Takes all the fight out of some. And then again, you take a nice, friendly crowd, you turn them into a lynch mob in no time at all. Watch. Hey, look, everybody! What I found here in the cellar! I caught a thief!
I'm not shaking near so much anymore, Dan.
Good.
How's she getting along?
If you want to know, go see for yourself.
She asked about me?
She did.
Why didn't she come?
Well, suppose you tell me, Simon.
Well, all right. Remember I told you about that battlefield commission?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was a mistake. Too much dependent on me. Too many decisions that I had no business making.
Dan, your friend Mingo. Luke has the men all stirred up. He says he caught Mingo robbing my father's store.
Mingo's with you?
Be careful. They're talking about hanging and they're getting drunk enough to do it.
Dan? That's good coffee. Dan made it.
The hanging's too good for you. Let's just take him out and shoot him.
Someone going to ask me what I was doing down there?
This ain't no lying contest. It's a trial.
Without a defense?
All right, what were you looking for down there?
Thank you for asking. I was looking for a particular...
Luke! Luke, you gone crazy?
No! It's the other way around. You're getting too old and too soft to run this town. Another minute, that Indian got in the powder and the spare rifles. Tomorrow morning, there'd been a raid. You're the one that's not thinking clear anymore, Fryman.
Just what is it you want to do?
Same thing I wanted to do when they rode in. Hang the Indian and go after Boone.
It won't be necessary. Now, if you'll just back away from him. You too, Mr. Fryman. I'll take that. I found the donkey on the jug, Daniel. It had quite a kick. That's what I figured. Are you ready to get out of here?
Oh, I think I might be persuaded to leave.
Well, don't bet on it. There's one rifle against 10.
Not exactly, Luke. My rifle against your neck. Unless they get away from that door before I count to 3.
Don't let him bluff you, Luke.
1, 2.
You boys better clear away from that door.
You still gotta fight your way out of town.
Pleasure, Luke. 10 against 2 is just about your style.
10 against 3.
Well, it's
it's all.
I told you never to set foot in here again. Now get out!
Now, first I want to tell you what happened with that fight with the Choctaws.
Don't try to weasel out of it!
Simon's party.
Stay out of this.
Now, why don't you quit, Pa? You've had enough.
Simon, don't hurt him anymore. He's an old man.
An old man. And he sure don't fight like one.
You've done enough, Simon. You've shown them.
Is that what you think? Just because I whaled the tar out of a Rivertown loafer and an old pirate like your pa? Well, let me tell you how I won that medal. It was my first big command. And the British, they moved into cannon. It was going to lose it for me. I went crazy, and I ordered a charge against it. And I led that charge right up into the cannon's mouth. And that cannon, it jammed. It jammed. It didn't kill nobody. And they gave me a medal. A medal. When if it hadn't been for that fluke, it would have been a court-martial. But I didn't think about that, and I came home a hero instead of the crazy, scared fool that I really was. Then the fight with the Choctaws, and it hit me up on the ridge. The reason I ordered that charge on the cannon was because I was so scared of getting killed that I couldn't think straight. But this time I wasn't scared, and I waited. But the men that were with me, they didn't understand, and they charged. And them Choctaw that didn't have more than 3 rifles between them, all of a sudden they found a pack of men within arrow range and knife range. And I realized that I got a medal for doing the wrong thing, and I'd be called a coward for doing the right one. And I walked away from there, and I started drinking. And tonight I stopped drinking. You know, the truth can be so foolish sometimes that it's better off to let it lay. But if this town is going to grow, it's got to stop depending on heroes and start depending on itself. I talk too much. I always did. Come on, son. We're going home. You coming?
Why didn't he tell me?
Elizabeth. Well, evidently. Must have been some fight. Why didn't anybody wake me up?
Let everybody out. This place is closed for repairs.
I think we'd better get back to bed.
you, Mingo. Now, you see, Samson? If you was to put that little paw of yours in there... See? You gotta be careful.
Hey, Scout.
Hello, Grandpa!
Mingo, Israel. Well, come on in. I didn't know if I'd be welcome.
Oh, hello, Mr. Fryman.
Mr. Boone, Daniel, Elizabeth. You hungry? Oh, wouldn't mind a bite. Oh, Simon, this belongs to you.
After what I said, you think I want any part of that? Simon, you ought to take it. You earned it. Last night.
You mean that brawl?
No, I mean when you walked from there to here and back again. Twice.
I'll take it for the time being. Sit down, Pa. You make me nervous. You too, Simon.
Oh, I brought some,
rock candy for the boy.
If you don't mind.
You know, I don't think I can stand much of you on your best behavior.
Well, hurry, hurry. The young man's almost home. What splendid, Rudy, splendid. When you're a man, you'll be a proud pocket worthy of your gypsy ancestors.
The Romany didn't pick pockets.
Well, worthy of my teaching, then, huh?
Unless I get free first.
You're still thinking of running away. Oh, it pained me to see you brought back in manacles.
I told him I'd been stolen from my tribe.
But I held your bill of sale, huh? Orlando, charlatan and thief, assassin even. But while he holds your bill of sale, the law is on his side. Rudy, there is no justice in the world.
I know that.
Well, no more such dismal thoughts. Start up the dinner fire.
What for? We don't got anything to eat.
We don't got any... Oh, are you sure?
When they drove us out of that last town, you saw them smash the food cupboard.
The cruel men of Blue Licks, Kentucky, huh? Well, hocus pocus, one for me and one for you. Well, too bad they're not real, huh? Well, I can't let her starve. I'll prophesy. We shall eat. Shall eat. Yes, sir, my boy, we're going to eat.
You prophesied that yesterday.
The Blue Licks men are still after us.
Shall I hitch up?
No, they'll hear us if we move. I'll reconnoiter.
Daniel Boone, what a doer, what a dream comer truer was he. From the coonskin cap on the top of old Dan to the heel of his rawhide shoe, the ripperest, roaringest, fightingest man the frontier ever knew. Oh, Daniel Boone was a man, yes, a big man, with an eye like an eagle and as tall as a mountain was he. Oh, Daniel Boone was a man, yes, a big man, and he fought for America to make all Americans free. Daniel Boone was a doer, what a dream comer truer was he. Daniel Boone, Daniel Boone.
These fine samples of furs from Kentucky, I'm bound to make the long journey to St. Louis town. These fine furs, as I've said. Marten and beaver and fox. Silver and red.
Coals hot, I say. No more these, and I want lots of smoke. Welcome guest. Oh, we dine in company.
Your fire and my mallard?
I thought you was a Blue Licks man.
Why Blue Licks?
Well, a town, but I have many grateful friends. You see, I'm a physician as well as a seer into the future.
So I noticed.
Yeah, make yourself comfortable while I prepare our dinner for the table in a style much admired by the Tsar of Montenegro, with whom I used to hunt the wild boar in his preserves.
Well, I don't think I know him.
Oh, a true gentleman, as well as a monarch. Oh, these are superb.
Well, I'd say they're about average, I guess.
Oh, no, superb, sir, superb. I speak as a connoisseur.
Well, all the better when I go to sell them.
Yeah, well, I predict that you will be surprised. Fortunately, the mallet feeds itself upon the wild celery, thereby seasoning herself to our palates. Ergo, we require no herbs. You do have, however, I trust, a few grains of salt.
Well, you're not very well provisioned.
I'm accustomed to depending upon servants.
I suppose that is kind of handy.
Yes, in my own mansion at home, of course. Not, however, when I must answer the needs of the injured and sick in the wilderness. Observe how I season the bird quite evenly all about the outside. Place it just in the right situation over the fire. It must not be too high. It must stay there just a moment.
I remember my wife saying that a wild duck well prepared should fly at least once over the hot coals.
Oh, a very perspicacious lady. Oh, yes. You see, the skin is browning nicely. In a moment, there will be a tiny, sudden explosion, at which time the bird will be done to perfection. Is, as it were, a call to arms. A positive Lucullan feast, I want it. Here, golden brown on the outside and on the inside, as rosy as the rising sun. Such aroma, and the flavor, too, I want it.
Well, you almost missed your supper, son.
Well, I wouldn't want the boy to overeat.
Well, now, I don't think it'll hurt him just this once.
Aren't you going to dine with us?
No, I think I'll just pick up the rest of my furs.
You what? I warn you, this is my castle. To enter that door is burglary. Rudy, get my rifle.
Rudy, you finish your dinner. Down on your knees. Now stick your hands through those wheels.
Don't you dare go in there! The knife furs of my own! Not even a common thief! Get me out! Rudy! You thieving cutpurse! There you renegade father, those are my furs. They're not of your pack. You're not more than a common thief. Rudy! Free me from this! I'll have my revenge on you! Rudy, cut me free! Rudy, get my rifle. Hold up, speak. You thieving cutpurse. Let me free you. I'll be revenged on you.
mister.
Hang on to your coat, son.
Rudy!
Mister! Oh, mister!
Rudy! Rudy!
Oh, mister! Didn't want to steal your furs.
Well, now you didn't, did you? See, here they are.
What do they call you?
Why?
Orlando thinks the whole world's made to be his fool, and you just now shown him it ain't without half trying.
I'm Daniel Boone.
Daniel Boone.
What's your name?
Rudy.
I'm glad to know you, Rudy.
I'm a bound boy. Orlando's my master.
Well, I'm real sorry to hear that.
You don't mind?
I mind a man being owned, son.
You going home with your catch?
Mm-hmm. Kind of a long way around, by way of St. Louis.
That is long. Well, thank you for shaking hands with me.
Good luck, Rudy.
Rudy, come here and free me at once. I thought you'd run off with that redneck villain.
He didn't ask me.
That's what you wish he had, huh? Well, so do I. I'd have had him in the quad for man-stealing.
Not Daniel Boone, you wouldn't.
Daniel Boone? What's Daniel Boone to you, or to me either?
Daniel Boone's the freest man I ever heard about. He's off to St. Louis.
St. Louis, huh? How long will he be gone? Well, just getting there and coming back would take 2 weeks. 2 weeks away from Boonesboro. Rudy, do you know what I'm going to do for Daniel Boone? I'm going to forgive him for the pain and the humiliation. I'm even going to forgive him for breaking into my castle. Hitch up, boy. We're on our way to Boonesboro.
Will you hold your mug still? All right, light or dark. Speak up.
Hey, Cincinnatus. Fill her up again with dark.
Just exactly how many of me do you think there are? What difference does it make? You ain't paid me for the last one yet. All right, now speak up, light or dark. Come on, speak up.
Cincinnatus?
Well, Mingo. You gotta forgive me. What do you got there?
A broken whetstone.
Well, what with these yahoos being on my back waiting for Daniel to come back with their fur money, I just clean forgot that I got anything around here that don't come out of a cave.
Yahoos?
Yes, yahoos. Get out of my view. All right, now, I tell you, it's a downright pleasure to have a customer come in here that's honest. Now, what can I do for you?
Whetstone.
Oh, whetstone. Let me see now. Check my stock here. Must be in this old box. Well, I got a lot of good bargains here. How about this rabbiting plane? Huh? It's good shape.
Just a whetstone, Cincinnatus.
Can't use it, huh? Well, then, let's see. Let's look up here in this end of the box.
To the best.
I'm busy, can't you see? I seen it here yesterday. I know it's got it here someplace.
Cincinnatus, I said to the best.
And I said I am busy. I've got a customer here.
Well, what do you think I am?
What do you look like? Well, you just take a look at this and use your imagination.
He's got credit, ain't he?
How about my share of that? The best fur catch from 17 and 58 out in the strong room, huh?
Yeah, how about that? What do you got to say to that?
Why don't you gentlemen wait until Daniel gets back from St. Louis, huh?
I wished I'd have sold mine to that fur buyer that come by.
That fella Orloff that wanted to buy 1,000 pounds of fur for less than 100? That's why Daniel went to St. Louis.
Well, at least I could buy a mug of rum and not get insulted.
Why don't you take your furs out now? You could probably still catch up with Daniel.
Well, that ain't what I mean.
Well, then just exactly what do you mean?
What I mean is that for 2 coppers, I'd take this keg of beer and I'd break it over your fat head.
Well, go ahead.
I'm ready for you.
Gentlemen, don't you hear what I hear? That sounds like a medicine show.
A medicine show?
Yes, a medicine show.
Oh, I tell you, that was close, Mingo. I was glad you was here. I tell you, what with nothing to do, them fellas had broken my back.
Cincinnatus, now may I have my whetstone?
Oh, Mingo, why don't you just look for it yourself?
Ladies and gentlemen, one and all, I invite you to step in out of the inclement weather. Come, gather close, boys and girls, if you will. Come into this friendly circle.
You're going to need a lot more water for that elixir.
Greetings, dear friends. Greetings from Orlando the prophet, Orlando the seer.
And here for a profit, no doubt.
Hey, when's the show start?
Oh, be patient, good friend, be patient. All will be revealed in time. Orlando is here to amaze and instruct you. Orlando is here to heal you, as he has healed the Tsar of Montenegro, now the most vigorous monarch in all Europe. All Orlando asks is your confidence, dear friend.
Blue Licks Kentucky all over, and I can't even run away.
Quite a load you have there, son.
You just go on about your scalping engine and let me alone.
And now, good friends, my magic wand. I invite you, sir. Please examine my wand. Pass it among your friends. I merely want you to assure yourself and your friends that it is constructed of nothing more or less than solid wood. Are you convinced? Just wood, sir. Would you be good enough to return it? Thank you, sir. And now, with this scarf, a simple, ordinary scarf, I beg you to cover the magic wand. All right. Now, with both your hands, grasp the wand. This is merely to convince you and your friends that you grasp nothing in your hands but the wand and the scarf. Are you agreed, sir? Are you quite sure? I'm afraid you're mistaken.
Well, how'd you do that? I don't know. I was looking real close. I couldn't tell.
Yeah, well, keep an eye on his sleeve. That's how it's done.
Oh, you are sharp, sir. Very sharp indeed. But since that is your opinion, and you are surely entitled to it, I beg you to observe me further. Nothing up my sleeve.
Hey.
Oh, sure, sir. Never fear. I don't mean to purloin it. However, it will do you little good without some fire, eh? Stand back, if you please. Stand back, and I'll afford you the fiery assist.
Hey, after that, I guess whatever you're selling, I got to buy, huh?
Orlando, good friend, does not sell. Orlando gives insight and help.
All right, I'll take one of each.
My gift is for the many, not the few. For you, your wife, your children, those lucky enough to possess them. Tomorrow evening, I will conduct here a seance of health. You are all invited, one and all, ladies and gentlemen, and bring your friends. It will be your only opportunity to gain the helpful medicine recommended by His Majesty the Tsar of Montenegro. Until then, dear friends, I bid you adieu. Elixir for general run-down condition, elixir for the bloat, elixir for puniness in infants. We're going to need some more weak blood conditioner.
What color?
Purple's rich. You know, this is a better town than Smoky Joe. I predict 10 pounds clear profit from this one seance. 12, maybe 15 if all goes well.
You could have sold a batch to them you had outside.
I thought you remembered Blue Licks, Kentucky. Never again will I work a town piecemeal. One seance in each place, and one only. Then out fast with the whole take before some sorehead starts trouble.
Why not get it over with? Why wait till tomorrow night?
After all I've taught you, milk the territory, boy. There are houses and farms all around the fort. Here, I'll finish this elixir. You take a packet of flyers and work up a crowd. And don't miss anyone. And keep your eyes and ears open. Remember my teaching.
I know how prophesying is done. from me. I didn't do nothing to you.
Wouldn't you like a cup of milk with that?
Hey, Mom, some milk. Okay. Hi.
Israel, why don't you get the young man a cup of milk?
Sure.
Why don't you come sit on the front porch? You'll be much more comfortable.
Here, take your darn old bread. I don't want it.
You're more than welcome to it. Go on, keep it. Go on.
Here. Go ahead. You were thirsty.
Come on, son. Sit on the porch. Come on. Come on, now.
Ma, can I have a slice of bread?
Yes, just one. I don't want to spoil your lunch. Oh, it's so fresh, it's going to be hard to cut. There you go, Israel. And don't you dare leave my good Sheffield knife out here to rust.
No, ma'am.
I'll get you another cup of milk.
She'd take my hide off if I did. It is a beauty, isn't it? Pa ordered it all the way from England for my mom's birthday. What do they call you? Rudy now. Orlando the Prophet. Who's he? A man. Well, I didn't think he was an elephant. I mean, what does he do? He looks into the future. What does he see when he looks?
When he sees something bad about to happen to a man, it most generally does.
What if he sees something good?
That ain't how a prophet works.
Don't worry, lad. I've done my scalping for this afternoon.
He's just funning you. That's Mingo, my father's friend. I'm Israel Boone.
Daniel Boone?
Pa's away. This is my mother, Mrs. Boone.
Tomorrow evening at the fort, be sure to come. It's Orlando the Prophet.
What's wrong with him? Hey, Rudy! Wait!
What kind of man is this?
I've seen him. I believe the boy is his bondservant.
Poor child. I know what that means.
Something, my young friend?
Yes, sir. I'm looking for...
Orlando the Prophet, hmm?
You him?
Oh, yes, I see your problem. Oh, biliousness is in the eyes. But you'll have to wait till the seance. A rule enjoined by the inflexible necessities of science.
Yes, sir. But the Tsar of Montenegro was named Savant. I learned that in school. So was his father.
Well, indeed. Well, my young scholar, you'd best keep that to yourself, hmm?
Some prophet. Doesn't even know geography. Rudy! Open up! Listen, I saw you come through the gate. All I want to do is talk to you. Rudy!
What do you want? Get out of here.
Sure.
You thought I was bawling, didn't you? Well, I was.
What made you run off like that?
Nothing. I had things to do. I almost stole your mother's knife back there.
Well, you didn't.
You talk like your father.
Do you know him?
Daniel Boone shook hands with me.
Why wouldn't he? Oh, on account of your father?
My father? Orlando? He is a Gitano.
What?
A Gentile. I am a Romany. A gypsy, you would say.
You mean the gypsy stole you when you were a baby?
The Gentiles stole me from my tribe.
Oh, I always heard it the other way.
Among the Rom, I am a prince, descended from Alexander the Great.
I never knew he was a gypsy.
Then why, after he had conquered the whole world, did he say, "Bah, enough, take care of yourselves"? Break his golden crown to show he was king no more. Wander away in his caravan, drawn by horses. Singing, floating, laughing.
it, young man. Are you angry with the wood?
No, ma'am.
Well, what then?
Nothing. Nothing I can do anything about.
Well, maybe I can.
Could you give me 100 pounds?
100 pounds?
That's how much it'd cost to buy Rudy's freedom.
100 pounds is an awful lot of money, Israel.
I know that. Ma, you were a bound girl.
I was lucky I met your father.
I know that, but Rudy says if Orlando sells him before his time's up, Rudy will have to serve another 7 years bound to someone else. That ain't so, Ma, is it?
It is and it isn't, son.
What?
Well, it depends on the situation. There's an old common law called bona fide purchaser for value.
Bona fide?
Purchaser for value. Means that if a man sells something, even though he has no legal right to it, the man who bought it from him still owns it.
Maybe for things or cows.
For people too, Israel. Those who are owned by other people.
It's not fair.
It's a very bad law.
Really happens?
At the inn where I worked, there was an old bondwoman who'd been passed from master to master that way ever since she was a little girl.
All that time? Never free at all? Rudy can be a slave his whole life long.
It's possible, son.
Not fair. It's not fair.
Israel?
Let him go, Rebecca. A young man who likes to feel that he's fairly grown up doesn't want anybody to see him cry. Not even his own mother.
Trappers? Nothing. Scum! I spit on you.
I gave out all the flyers.
Well, I accept my congratulations.
What happened?
And I scraped bottom buying rum for that scum in order to soften them up for the seance. And then they tell me there isn't a sixpence of hard cash among the lot of them.
How much would you take from me?
That's something I'll soon know.
Would you sell me to myself?
To yourself?
I want to buy my bill of sale.
What with? Your fleas?
This.
That's White Fox. Where'd you get it?
Would you sell me my freedom?
What do I care who owns you? Where did you get it?
How much is my price?
How much of this stuff is there?
Would you take 50 pounds for me?
50 pounds? Well, I paid close to that for you when you were a raw kid. With all I've taught you, I could get 100 from any gull in Philadelphia. More. Why, they'd fight to buy your bill of sale.
It's a long way to Philadelphia. You can't get there without money.
Now, there's 75 pounds in that cash from which this came.
Is that my price?
I asked you a question. Well, I don't have much choice, do I?
75 pounds is my price.
All right, it's a deal. But there'd better be 75 pounds in that cash, just for your sake.
There is.
I know, where is it?
First, there's something you've got to promise.
I promise you a good hiding.
You've got to promise not to take any more than just exactly what'll pay for me.
All right.
Promise on your solemn oath?
Not my solemn oath, I promise. Now, where is it? Yolanda. I can't guess how much of this stuff there is in here.
1,000 pounds.
Yeah. All right, start loading it on.
Which ones?
Which ones? All of it.
You promised me.
I promised you a good hiding. We're taking all of it. Now start loading.
No. I don't want my freedom bad enough having to steal everything these people have got.
Don't worry, you're not getting it. Now start loading.
It was crazy to trust you.
Me or anybody else. At least that much I've taught you. All right, start loading on.
Rudy sure is gonna be surprised. He didn't think we could help.
Well, we'll do the best we can, son. Of course, the law is on Orlando's side. He may not want to wait for his money, or he may want more money than we can afford.
But Ma says, and all in... They're gone.
Yes.
Well, what's become of him? Where is he?
You know just about as much as we do.
Hello, Mingo. Well, the seance was tonight.
Hey, when he found out there wasn't a lick of money in town to buy his elixir.
You know, if looks could have killed, we'd have been dead men.
When Martha read that the prophet had an elixir for rheumatiz, why, she sent me in for a bottle.
He's no prophet, Mr. Loomis. He didn't even know that Tsar Montenegro's name is...
Israel.
Well, I don't know what I'm going to tell her. Her hopes are awful high.
That's the trouble with men like Orlando, Israel. They scavenge in the hopes of good people.
Poor Rudy.
Israel, come along. This wagon has been backed up in front of the strong house.
Couldn't have got in. Still locked. What's that?
A picklock.
A what?
Empty.
Orlando must have stolen them. Should I go tell him?
They kill him.
Rudy, too?
You go tell your mother that I'm going after them. Now, if I'm not back with the furs by tomorrow night, she should let everybody know. I'll leave signs so that they can follow.
Yes, sir.
Any Baltimore fence would give me 600-700 pounds for those furs. Maybe 8. Yes, I'm going to hold out for 8.
Here.
Yeah. Where's yours?
Not hungry.
Well, it's your belly. You know, you got my dander up last night with your stubbornness. You could have brought all Boonesboro down around our ears. We'll talk about your freedom after I've sold those furs.
You never will.
Wager? Your freedom against,
I don't want my freedom at that cost.
you had your chance. You've nobody but yourself to blame for losing it.
You think you're not being trailed right now? By the best?
Daniel Boone is in St. Louis.
Mingo ain't.
The Indian?
He'll have your scalp along with those furs.
Oh, lad, you forget what I taught you. Even if I didn't lose the savage when I backtracked, I buried the trail on that outcropping of rock.
He'll pick it up.
By scent? Like an animal?
Look there. The bucket's gone.
You cursed gypsy! You left him a trail! Oh, forgive me. I should be thanking you instead.
For what?
For putting me on my guard. And we'll wait here for your Indian friend and hope that he finds us.
You can't handle him.
Well, not in combat, no. No, but the civilized brain versus the savage brawn. That's Orlando the Prophet style. Come on. You know what I'm doing? And you'll learn soon enough.
A trap gun to kill Mingo. I'll kill you!
I'm not going to kill anyone. Get there. Lie still if you know what's good for you. Now, you stay there.
Orlando?
Is he dead?
You did kill me, lad. Though I still don't know just how.
Oh, no, no.
He's ashamed of being smart. Oh, lad. A gull who can outgull Orlando the Prophet can outgull the whole wide world.
Let me.
It's yours.
My bill of sale. My freedom.
The wagon, too, is yours. As I taught you better than I knew. You start where I left off.
And when they ask you how you came to be so wise, you tell them Orlando the...
It's all over for him, boy.
I'm finished. So am I. Good, we just ran out of paint. That's good. It's glorious. Well, you put the barrel away. I'll go tell them to come. Come on out. We're finished. Do you like it?
Yes, but what is it, Rudy? The broken crown of Alexander the Great.
Well, now, how in tarnation did you know that?
I read it in a book once. It's an old Romany legend.
He was Rudy's ancestor, and when he was through conquering the world, he said, "Oh, you people go rule yourselves," and broke his crown, because gypsies like to be free.
And now I am free.
Well, you're not leaving us already.
I heard there were Romany tribes nearby, and they will help me find my own people.
Do you mind if I ride along with you, Rudy?
I would be proud. Goodbye, Mrs. Boone.
Goodbye, Rudy, and good luck.
Goodbye, Mr. Boone.
Goodbye, Rudy.
Goodbye, Rudy, and hurry back.
I will. And when I do, I'll be wearing a velvet jacket and a golden earring.
Up you go.
Miss ya. Goodbye, free friends.
Who goes there? Hey, Israel. It's just me and Pudge. What's the secret password? Skull and crossbones. All right, mates. Come aboard, but step lively. Pudge says he's ready for his initiation into the Legion of the Black Pirates, Israel. Biggest step a man can ever take in his whole life. I don't know if he's ready or not. I'm ready, fellas. I'm ready. What do I have to do? Well, we have a very secret initiation ceremony. All sorts of stuff, like being able to attend midnight meetings, tell whoppers of tall tales, but never break a swear to your fellow black pirate, and being able to catch ticks and glowbugs without squashing them. All kinds of stuff. Gosh, how many people you got in the Black Pirates? So far, just Stinky and me. Of course, we just don't let anybody in it. Let's get going to the Pike House. The Pike House? That old place is haunted. Mr. Pike is the meanest man that ever took a breath of air. And Mrs. Pike is a witch. Part of your initiation. The Pike House?
Come on, Pudge.
Oh, come on. I've never seen it in the dark before.
Scary, huh?
All right, Pudge, we're gonna start your initiation right now. First thing, you gotta get up to that porch. Got your slingshot? You Gotta throw 3 rocks against the front door.
Right, Israel?
Right. It's gotta be 3, Pudge. That's the rule.
But what if old Lady Pike comes out?
You want to be a black pirate, don't you?
Then get going. But wait.
Daniel Boone, what a doer, what a dream comer, truer was he. From the coonskin cap on the top of old Dan to the heel of his rawhide shoe, the ripperest, roaringest, fightingest man the frontier ever knew. Oh, Daniel Boone was a man, yes, a big man, with an eye like an eagle and as tall as a mountain was he. Oh, Daniel Boone was a man, yes, a big man, and he fought for America to make all Americans free. Daniel Boone was a doer, what a dream comer, truer was he. Daniel Boone, Daniel Boone.
Open up, Zach. I came to see you.
Hello, Sam. Been a lot of years.
A lot of years. Rotting in jail. I've been out for a while. It's took me some time to find you, partner. You gonna invite me in?
Nettie's asleep. I hate to wake her.
No, let's not waste time, Zach. I come for what's due me. Fast move, Zach. You just take that pistol out of your belt, put it down on the floor in front of me. Real slow like. Right back up, Zach. Into the house.
Boy, did you see that? Something mighty big's brought inside that house. Wish my pa was back from his hunting trip. The black pirates can handle this. I think we better get Pudge's initiation over with right now.
Gosh, fellas, I don't know. Sure is spooky around here.
I tell you, I ain't got it.
Did you hear that? Sounds like they're having a brawl. We gotta find out what's happening inside there. Look, fellas, couldn't we have the initiation some other time, huh? My ma's gonna give me an awful whooping if she finds out I'm gone at this hour of the night. I say let's get the initiation over with. I'm for that.
What do I have to do?
Spy, Pudge. Gotta learn how to spy in order to become a black pirate. Go up to that front window and peep in it.
Why do I have to do that?
Israel just told you why, stupid. We gotta know what's happening in there. Black pirates are the best spies there is.
Well, I don't think it's fair. I bet you guys never looked in the Pike's window.
Well, we wouldn't be afraid to.
Then I dare you to do it now. I double dare you. I'll do it, if you'll do it first.
A black pirate can't run out under there, Israel. Especially a double dare. I know.
You've got to believe it.
All right, as long as you guys keep watch.
Right quick. I'll just kill you both. Find him myself. You didn't come out here to hide and change your name for nothing.
After us, too. Me and Nettie. We've been running.
Well, you can stop running. Because I'm going to unburden you of that gold. For the last time, Zach.
Sam, no!
Makes sense, Sam. If you kill me...
Nobody saw me come here. Nobody will see me leave.
I tell you, I ain't got it.
I always knew you for a liar. Fix something to eat. Make sure the cove's good and hot. I want the truth, Zach, or you're gonna be less one head.
Take it easy, Sam. It is the truth. British officers. They stole the gold right out from under me. There was nothing I could do about it.
That's a good story, Zach. But I don't believe it.
If we had the gold, you suppose we'd be living like this?
Well, you're smart, Zach. Smart enough to do just that. Where's that coffee?
In a minute.
I'm betting that gold is right here. And when I find it, I'm not only taking my share, but yours too. Well, come on, pour out.
Dead. Stealing's one thing. Murder's another.
It was him or us. It's just as simple as that. Now, don't follow, we're gonna get caught.
Why doesn't Israel get out of there while the getting's good? I don't know. Israel's a gunner. Spot him for sure.
You start digging and I'll take a look.
Why doesn't he run? Run, Israel, run!
Look at him.
No, it's too dark. He was running like a scared rabbit.
You think he saw anything?
I don't know. Might have been just a chicken thief.
I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. We better move the grave just in case. Yeah, now, what's this? Kid's slingshot. The Black Pirates.
Wait, listen, wait. I gotta rest. Murder, Israel. Murder. Cold-blooded murder. What are we gonna do? Nothing we can do tonight. It's way past midnight already. Midnight? I think the best thing for all of us to do is go home and get to bed. My mom's gonna tan my hide if she catches me. Then don't let her catch us, stupid. Let's meet at the cave tomorrow and decide what you do. Meanwhile, don't tell anybody what happened, okay? Agreed? Yeah, agreed. Agreed. Let's go. See ya.
Israel Boone, I've had just about enough of your sneaking out at all hours of the night to play pirate. Now, do you realize what time it is?
Yes, ma'am, but
Have you been to that cave again?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't want to hear any of your tall tales. I don't want to hear another word from you for that matter. And I never, ever want to catch you out again at this hour. Is that understood?
Yes, ma'am.
And when your father gets home, we're going to have a talk. Do you hear?
Yes, ma'am.
Right now, you're going to bed. And you better be up bright and early in the morning, ready for your chores if you know what's good for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Israel. Hi. What's the matter?
I said the net trap, so it would protect the entrance. Anybody that stepped on it, the net would fall on them.
Well, that trap's never worked yet. I don't know why you think it's going to work now.
Stupid thing.
First time it worked. Damn, look what it got.
Come on out, boys. Come on. Come on, fellas, hurry up. Help me get it back up.
Not now. I'm too tired. Me too. Couldn't get a wink of sleep all night. Yeah. Same here. I kept hearing weird noises outside my window.
I know someone was walking around in our front yard after I got home. Big, heavy footsteps. Like Zach Pike's.
What are we going to do? Pikes will murder us like they did the stranger if they find out it was us who saw them do it.
Gosh, I'm too young to die, fellas. With my paw gone, I don't know who to tell. Mom wouldn't believe me because of all the tall tales I've been telling lately. You know how girls are anyhow.
My mom would be the same way if I told her. And Pa gave me an awful wailing last time he saw me out after I was supposed to be asleep.
Tell? What are you guys talking about? You just said we'd be killed by the Pikes if we tell.
Now, wait a minute. There's been a murder. Somebody has to tell. And we're the only witnesses.
Not me. I'm not telling.
Me neither. I vote we make a pact to keep Mom and tell nobody ever.
I vote that way, too.
But wait a minute.
That's 2 against 1. We'll do the Black Pirate swear.
The blood oath?
You got it, Israel. The Black Pirates voted.
What do we have to do?
Stand up. Now put on your patch. Okay. Give me your hand.
Real blood?
Mm-hmm. Okay, close your eyes. Put your thumbs together. And repeat after Israel.
I, Israel Boone.
I, Pudge Farmingham.
I, Stinky Brown.
Do solemnly swear on my honor to stay mum and to keep this sacred blood swear for the rest of my natural life. And if I don't, may I have my tongue cut off with a poisonous sword. May I be boiled in toad oil. And may I dangle by my toes over a snake pit in July. Worse than that, be thrown out of the Black Pirates Club forever and ever.
Do solemnly swear to do whatever it was you just said, forever and ever.
Agreed. Forever and ever. Here. Now we gotta burn this to really seal the oath.
I'll go get the brush.
Israel Boone. You looking for something? Maybe this is what you want. Your slingshot, isn't it, boy?
All the boys have them.
Well, you can tell your friends I found it. Now I'll be glad to return it to its rightful owner.
Yes, sir. Bye. Where you been? It's that Pike. He has my slingshot.
Your slingshot?
You must have dropped it last night over at his house.
He knows it was us that saw him. We're as good as dead right now.
I don't think so. I think he's just trying to scare us.
Well, he's doing a good job of it.
What are we gonna do? I think we should go home. Maybe in a few days he'll forget all about us.
Yeah. Maybe he won't bother us if we don't bother him.
Whatever you do, fellas, don't tell anybody. My pa promised me a new jackknife for my birthday.
What's that got to do with it?
Well, if I get killed, Pa will probably give the knife to my brother. And I don't think I could stand that. I'm headed home.
Me too. Mum's the word.
Agreed. Agreed.
Agreed.
Israel, what on earth is the matter with you? Well?
Nothing, Ma. Just playing catch with the boys.
Israel, you haven't eaten a bite of your dinner. Now, is something bothering you?
No, ma'am. At least I just don't feel well.
Well, is there something you want to tell me about?
No, ma'am.
Israel, I'm sorry if I've been hard on you while your father's been away. But you've been impossible with those wild stories and those disappearances in the middle of the night. Now, you're going to have to change your whole attitude. Do you understand that?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Can I be excused?
All right. But I want you to fetch me some water from the well before you start your school lessons.
Yes, ma'am.
Israel, what's the matter?
He's out there.
Who's out there?
Zach Pike.
Israel, there's no one out there. And what would Mr. Pike be doing here?
He's after me. Because I saw him and Mrs. Pike murder man in their house.
Israel Boone, I told you.
This isn't a story, Ma. I saw him do it. They buried the body. Stinky and Pudge were with me. They saw it, too. It's true, Ma.
I'm sorry to disturb you at this hour, Sarah, but it's very serious. Israel claims that Pudge, Stinky, and he saw Mr. and Mrs. Pike murder a stranger in their house and then bury the body.
Homer, get in here.
Hello, Mrs. Boone.
Homer.
Hi, Israel.
Mrs. Boone has some questions to ask you, and I want you to tell the truth for a change, or I swear I'll tan your hide so red you won't be able to sit down for a week.
Now, Homer, this is very important. Do you know anything at all about a murder in the Pike house?
Homer, answer Mrs. Boone.
No, ma'am. I don't know nothing about any murder. Stinky!
Israel, be quiet. Are you absolutely sure, Homer?
Yes, ma'am. I'm as sure as I can be. Murder? No, ma'am. I don't know anything about it. Besides, Pa would skin me alive if I was ever out that late.
That's truth for sure.
Telling a tall tale is one thing, Israel, but lying and involving your friends in it is another. I just don't know what's gotten into you, but I'm through talking. You know, your father will be home in the morning, and I'm going to let him settle this. In the meantime, you are not to leave this room for any reason. Oh, it's so good to have you home.
It's good to be home.
How was the trip?
Well, I got enough meat for all season.
Wonderful.
Where's Israel?
He's in his room.
A pretty day like this? Is he sick?
No. Dan, that boy has been impossible since you left. Still telling wild stories, only worse than ever.
Oh, he'll grow out of it, Becky. It's just stage he's going through.
Now, I agreed with you before, but when innocent people are hurt, I draw the line. He concocted some wild story that Mr. and Mrs. Pike murdered a man in their home, and the story's all over Boonesboro.
Has he explained why?
He hasn't explained anything. In fact, he keeps insisting that it's really true. That is, until I confronted Homer Brown and Clarence Farmingham, and they both denied it.
It's not like Israel to carry make-believe this far. Maybe I better have a talk with him. Israel?
Hello?
Is that all I'm going to get? Just a hello? I hear we've had a few problems since I've been gone. Your mother's very upset over your behavior, especially concerning that tale about the Pikes.
But it's not a tale, Pa.
Well, imagination's a wonderful thing, son, but you can't let it get away from you. Sometimes, before you know it, innocent people get hurt. And I know you never intended to hurt the Pikes, but they've been hurt. I think you owe them an apology.
An apology? They're murderers, and that's the plain truth.
They're due an apology from you. The tale you told about them caused them a great deal of embarrassment. Now, you have nothing to be ashamed of in admitting you were wrong. I told a few stories when I was a boy. Some of them were pretty good, too. Now, I want you to come with me right now over at the Pikes, and we'll apologize. We'll get that over with.
No, Pa. They'll kill me like they killed a stranger.
Israel, I'm not going to argue with you. You'll do as I say.
Yes, sir.
Pike?
What do you want?
Can I talk with you and Mr. Pike for a minute?
Zach's not here.
Well, then may I step in for a moment and talk with you?
Well, what do you want?
My wife and I feel that we owe you and Mr. Pike an apology for the story my boy made up. I just want you to know that he's going to be punished for his behavior. We just want you to know that we feel badly about what's happened. Israel, have you got something to say to Miss Pike? Israel?
I'm not going to apologize.
Leave him be. I wouldn't accept an apology from the little brat anyway. Him and them other brats that come by to throw stones at my windows and to point their fingers and giggle and laugh like we were some kind of freaks. Well, you'd better keep him away from here from now on, or he'll really be sorry.
Israel!
You won't be the one that saw it. You're a witch and you're a murderer!
Israel! I'm sorry, Miss Pike.
You heard?
Everything. I think it's time that boy had an accident.
One killing's enough. Maybe we ought to clear out.
And have Daniel Boone wonder why we left? Why, that boy of his would have him digging out there in no time.
Well, Sam could have told somebody about the gold. They could come looking for him.
He was too greedy to let anyone else in on his share. The gold's ours, neat as can be. All we gotta do is get rid of Israel Boone.
Where's this one?
Well, he came running through here a while ago and went straight to his room. I tried to talk to him, but he wouldn't even answer me.
Well, he was rude to Mrs. Pike, and when I asked him to apologize, he refused to do it.
Dan, I feel very strongly about this. Now, you've got to do something more than just talk to the boy. Something has to be done to snap him out of it.
Oh, Pa! He's out there! He's like Pack! He come to get me again!
Now hold on and calm down.
I saw him! I saw him!
Where did you see him?
At my window!
Dan, this is nonsense. Now, he claimed the same thing once before.
Howdy there, Mr. Boone.
Come in, Mr. Pike.
Thank you. I don't want to take much of your time. Hello, Mrs. Boone. Israel. I just wanted to stop by and thank you and Mrs. Boone for your courtesy. We were pretty upset by that story your boy started, but it's nice to know you cared enough about it to apologize like you did. Only, I wish you wouldn't be too hard on him. We know he didn't mean no harm.
Israel, why don't you come over here and shake hands with Mr. Pike, and let's settle this thing here and now. Sorry, Mr. Pike. He's just not himself lately.
Spring fever's got him, maybe. But like I say, don't be too hard on him.
Good night, Mr. Pike. Thank you.
Dan, that was the last straw.
Israel, we've carried this just about as far as we're going to. You've hurt people, and it's time you grew up and admitted your mistake.
But everything I said was the truth, Pa.
The boys don't back up your story, son. Now, you and your friends have tormented and played pranks on the Pikes ever since they've come to Boonesboro.
But she looks like a witch.
I want you just to lay there and think a while about all the bad things you and your friends have done to the Pikes, things you should be ashamed of. I want you to think about the cruel things you've done to poor people less fortunate than you. And when you're ready to act like a man, then you and I'll have a talk, man to man. How's Israel?
I haven't heard a sound out of him since you left.
I reckon he's got a lot of thinking to do.
I think I'll just stick my head in and see if he's all right.
Well, I wouldn't do that, Becky. I think he's had enough talking to for one day. Hopefully some of it'll sink in and he'll be all straightened out tomorrow.
Stinky! Stinky! What in tarnation are you doing here? Nobody believed me. I ran away. Gosh. I'm sorry I didn't tell your mother about the murder. But I didn't know you'd break the swear. We all swore not to tell anybody. I know that, but I had to tell. It's not your fault. I was the one who broke the swear. And the Black Pirate law says I'm the one who has to take the consequences. But I'm gonna fix all that right now. I'm headed for the Pike House. You crazy or something? I have to find the stranger's grave. It's the only way I can prove to people that I was telling the truth. Well, do you need any help?
I don't want you to get in any more trouble than you're already in. Black pirates are supposed to stick together. We better round up Pudge. We're right there. Hurry up. There's a shed behind the house where Pike keeps his tools. We're gonna need 2 shovels. Stinky and I'll get them while you keep watch.
All by myself? Would you rather go with Israel and I'll stand lookout?
No. It's kind of scary. Just hurry up. All right. If you see any movement from the house, give the black pirate warning whistle. Right. Israel. Yeah. What's the black pirate warning whistle?
Oh, boy.
Well, just whistle any way you can, Pudge. We'll know it's you. Come on, move out. That's what we need. Come on, Israel. Let's go. Wait a minute. There's something buried here. What is it? Looks like a new shirt. It is a shirt. Israel, the shirt is covered with dried blood. Do you think it's a stranger's? Could be. Could also be Zach Pike's. He must have been covered with blood after carrying the stranger to the graveyard. Yeah. And I bet he buried his clothes here so nobody could ever find the bloodstains on him. Maybe there's more. What's that? Oh, no. I think I saw a It's locked. Here. I bet it's pirate's treasure. Wait till I tell my pa about this.
You're not going to tell anybody anything, boy. You sure you covered up that box good?
You're gonna be sorry for everything once my pa gets hold of you.
I don't think you heard right, boy. You're never gonna see your pa again. Now let's go for a walk. And bring those digging tools with you. You're going to need them. This is what the noise was. They found the gold in the shed.
Well, that's the Boone boy, all right, but who's that other one?
What's your name, boy?
My name is Brown. Homer Brown, ma'am.
Don't ma'am me, brat. Politeness ain't gonna get you nowhere.
Let's stop talking and get it over with. I want to put him on the far side of the yard. I need you to hold a candle. Move! Good spot. Plenty of room for 2 graves. Start digging.
Pa! Pa!
Dan! Yeah, who is it? Birmingham! Come in.
Dan, Israel was right. The Pikes did kill someone.
Israel and Homer are over at the Pike's house now.
Gone, all right.
Dan, I'll never forgive myself if anything's happened to Israel.
We just wanted to find the grave so somebody'd believe us. Mr. Pike's got a rifle. He caught him in the tool shed.
Becky, keep the boy here. Come on.
I'm getting tired.
Dig. You haven't got much digging to go. Keep at it. Then you can have a long, long rest.
Can we have some more light over here?
Just keep digging. Give him some more light.
Pirates!
Get inside and start packing.
He's right behind us.
Where are they, Miss Pike? Stay here, Hank.
Over here!
They were digging their own graves. Come on.
Come on. It's only a little more ways. Listen. Come on!
I know you're here. You won't get away this time. You might as well come out. I'll find you anyway. Look now, I'm tired of fooling around with you kids. Come on out. Uh-huh. That's who you are.
Wow, then it worked! The Black Pirates sail again! Yahoo! Paul,
More potato salads?
No, ma'am.
No, thank you.
I'm about stuffed as it is.
Pa, did they ever find out who the stranger was?
His name's Sam Bedford, Israel. Evidently, he and Pike were in the Army together and were mixed up in an Army gold theft. Pike disappeared with the gold. The Army caught up with Bedford, and he served a term in prison.
When he got out of prison, he went looking for Zach Pike for his share of the gold.
That's about it. From there on, you boys know the story better than anybody.
Wow. Wait till everybody hears about this.
We'll probably all be heroes.
You'll be heroes to the Army when they get that gold back, that's for sure. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if they made you boys honorary colonels.
Honorary colonels?
Wow. Golly. The Black Pirate sails again! Yahoo!
Israel,
Yes, sir?